The game drive tracks the shoreline of the Chobe River. The river forms the northern boundary of the large Chobe National Park and also the border between Botswana and Namibia. At the end of a drive, one can use the comfortable tar road back to the starting point. Accommodation at the well-known campsite Sinyati, which is situated close to the Zimbabwean border. Driving around in the national park requires a 4x4 vehicle. To successfully navigate the sandy stretches, the tire pressure should be reduced to approximately 1.6 bar. No reason to be afraid when one finds itself suddenly inside a large herd of buffaloes. This herd is on the way to the Chobe River. They will cross the river to graze on the Namibian side. There was still reasonably good grazing spread over a vast area. The buffaloes didn't mind grazing together with Namibian cattle. This herd was several hundred heads strong. Although totally surrounded by buffaloes, there was no danger. Buffaloes are peaceful animals and try to move around any disturbance, such as a car. This peaceful behavior, however, changes drastically when wounded by a hunter. Then hell breaks loose. There are instances where hunters were killed by buffaloes. Not that peaceful would it be, on the other hand, when one accidentally lands in the middle of a family group of elephants. Young and still immature bulls tend to wanting to show off and demonstrate that they can protect the herd. This can turn out to be very uncomfortable, to say the least. Then it is much better to film this family group from the elevated and safe position. Putting on a cover of dust after a bath is not that easy. The young elephant cow demonstrates to the young one how it's done. However, it doesn't help when, mostly during my visit, strong winds were blowing. These impalas don't seem to mind that next to them huge beasts eat the grass, including guinea fowls are always intensely busy foraging for food. This way, they are not different from domestic chickens. Clearly visible is the effect of a strong wind which carries away all the soil that guinea fowl dug up. The northern section of the Chobe National Park is known for the large herds of impalas. The proximity to the river plays a major role in this regard. Good grazing and water in close proximity are just ideal. In such an ideal habitat, one is inclined to accept some compromises. Impalas are actually browsers, but the dry conditions call for mixing the diet. Due to being about in abundance and moving in general in large herds, impalas are also called the goat of Africa. Egyptian geese pair for life. This couple shows their continued affection and demonstrates this with a small spectacle. For ibises like this glossy ibis, there is no time to rest when foraging. The ducks are not far behind with their efforts. The long toes of the jacana are amazing. They allow this bird to walk with ease on the leaves of water lilies. Pelicans are gregarious and normally occur in large flocks. Then they hunt with great technique and discipline. Inside this pond, however, there's just about enough space for one pelican. Despite the fact that it seems to swallow a fair amount of mud, it appears nevertheless reasonably successful. The cunning yellow-billed stork stands on one leg and ushers with the other leg small fish and frogs into its open beak. Each of the storks has its own hunting technique and doesn't mind being surrounded by other storks. Now the yellow-billed stork has caught a little fish and doesn't seem to fear that this one is taken away from it by the spoonbill. this confined space, I count 9 different types of water birds. This is quite unusual. But would I complain about this unique filming opportunity? A magnificent kudu bull. The horn characterizes him as a mature trophy. It is surrounded by a herd of impalas. This is so typical for the Chobe River. Different animal species peacefully side by side. This volume of animals one finds only in Africa. Daily temperatures close to 40 degrees Celsius and an extended drought force the elephants to come to the water more regularly. Wattled cranes are also known for pairing for life. The small herd of kudu cows demonstrates 2 characteristics. First, kudu cows don't carry horns, and second, kudus are browsers. In addition, one can see the peaceful coexistence of different types of animals. Also, this roan antelope walks relaxed past this gigantic giraffe. Both accept the presence of other animals. Drinking water is quite a complex maneuver for giraffes. The lower branches of this bush have already been stripped of any green leaves. But the long legs and the long neck of the giraffe allow this specialized animal to find green leaves higher up. The facial markings of the roan antelope are similar to those of the sable antelope. Both animals are related. One rarely finds a buffalo without the intensive care by oxpeckers. The seasonal drought makes it difficult for elephants to find good grazing. The grass has been largely eaten down to a very short length. Now it is only left for them to dig up the grass with their feet and eat the roots. For the young elephant, this is an impossible task, but in the end, it still has the milk of the mother as a backup.